I'm a horrible singer. I just always wanted to do that. So here's a story you've heard a million times before. You are sitting and you're hanging out with friends, and you're having some wine or you're having a beer, and you have this little idea and you really want to tell them about it. You want them to be impressed. And they, being amazing friends, they want to see this idea come to fruition. So next day, you go into your job and you're working away, and there's a little thought in the back of your head, and it says, hey, remember your couch? And then after work, you're on the loser cruiser, you're on the proletariat chariot, you're on the bus, and it's loud, it's annoying, and you're trying to just ignore the whole thing and think, hey, don't worry, at home, I've got a couch. You get home. Your computer magically turns on. It says, hey, look, here's my project. Here's my big thing. I want you to work at me. All you need to do is you need to work. You need to sit down. But then there's your old friend to the left. Oh. A little bit of time goes by. Could be weeks, could be months, could be years, who knows. And you talk to your friends again, and you don't have a whole bunch to show for your project. It's okay. But this is about the time that there's a little voice in the back of your head that speaks up. And it's not mad, it's just disappointed. So it can be hard to find that energy, it can be hard to find that motivation. And inspiration comes from everywhere. I'm not here to say anything about where you get inspiration. I would like to just talk about what to do with that inspiration once you have it and how to stay motivated. I have to admit, I do have like a bit of a goal here. I don't want anyone to be able to use this talk. I would love it if you could all just ignore this. However, sometimes we get stuck in ruts. I get stuck in ruts, you do, that's okay, it happens. Shit happens, as they say. This is what to do when you do get stuck in that rut and you want to climb out. This is a kick in the pants in 3 acts. So let's get started. Act 1, find your natural process. When it comes to an idea, the first step after the inspiration is brainstorming. So how do we brainstorm? I think there are 2 types of brainstorming people. The first are idea people. I hope you know an idea person. They're everywhere, so I just talked to one. I love these type of people. These are the type of people who can just puke up an idea at the drop of a hat. You give them an idea, you give them something to come up with, and they'll be like, bam, 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 bam. They will say, blah, here is an awesome new technology platform. Blah, here's an awesome new song I just wrote. Blah, here's a really cool talk. I'm going to give it intermittent. Cool. The second type of people are improve an idea people. I think you can see where this is going. They can take those ideas that idea people come up with and just build off them, riff off them. So they can maybe make something a bit more feasible, maybe a bit more practical, maybe appeal to a larger amount of people. Blah, that technology platform is really cool. Can we maybe change that user experience to maybe make this just a better flow? Cool, sounds good. Blah. I really like that song. That hook is fantastic. Can we move that chorus 2 bars earlier? And then that solo is freaking wild. It needs to be at the outro. Let's do that. Or, blah. Let's make this talk hyper-local and have an ad for Zingerman's Pickles. Wait. That's pretty good, but I think we can do better. Can we make that pickle bounce? Can we make it bounce? Bounce, yeah! So These two types of people don't need to be separate. I mean, idea people can, of course, improve on ideas, and improving idea people can, of course, come up with some of the most creative, original thoughts. I place these people in the two groups by what comes most naturally to them. Myself, I believe I'm firmly in the improve an idea camp. I'll give you a little backstory. In Vancouver, there's a park called Guelph Park. It has a statue by Michael Dennis, a local artist, which was donated to the park in various forms through the late 80s, early 90s. And it looks like a person relaxing. Another Vancouver artist named Victor Brestensky really liked this, and he created a replica of a Vancouver Park Board sign and placed it in the park on November 2012 evening at maybe, let's say, 3 a.m. It said, "Dude Chilling Park." Guerrilla art, a great idea. It wasn't long before the city of Vancouver took that out, saying it was vandalism. But I saw this idea and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I was really bored at my day job. So I'm like, okay, cool. How do I improve off this? How do I riff off this? So what's wrong with it? Well, it's not in the freaking park, right? Let's fix that. How do we fix it? Let's make an online petition. It takes 2 seconds. Let's share it on social media and get 1,800 signatures. Let's go to a park board meeting and with firm research on the history of the park, why the name Guelph isn't relevant anymore. It's like the Queen's maiden name. Or let's get a little bit of press about this park. So in the end, the Vancouver Park Board decided to put it back in the park as a piece of public art permanently. Pretty sweet. The park itself is still called Guelph Park, technically. That's okay. You'd be hard-pressed to find a Vancouverite or a Google Maps that would still call it that. Oh, did I go too fast? Okay, I'll let that happen again. Come on, GIF. The big reveal. All right. So I'm not an idea person. I'm an improve an idea person. Now, Dude Chilling Park, it represents brainstorming. You take a nugget and you riff off it. A whole new idea can be born from that original idea. The thing is, through collaboration, people who build upon an idea can have as much merit as the person who came up with the original nugget. I don't think that the actual merit belongs to one or the other. And through collaboration, eliminating ego opens up a plethora of creative opportunities. So think about, what is your process? Are you an idea person? Are you an improve an idea person? And remember, you're not pigeonholed. Although excelling at one process, the other can still be achieved, maybe with a little more effort. Next step, listen to John Cleese. Yes, that John Cleese. So maybe you've got an idea. You want to create a new music festival that breaks out of the cookie cutter flower headband, tie-dye tank top, everyone in a field, things that happen a million times or a dime a dozen every summer. Say you want to cook a new meal for your partner and you really want to impress that person and you want to break away from a standard recipe that's kind of boring and you say, fuck that recipe book, get out of here. I'm going to make this up, fuck it, I'm doing it live. Say you want to paint something different. You're tired of doing the same old stick figure on a horse beside a red house, maybe on a grassy hill with let's put a little tree over there and then a stream. That sounds nice. No, that's boring. Let's do something different. In 1991, John Cleese gave a lecture on creativity, and if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. Trevor, maybe you can hook the guys up in Slack, yeah? So John said that in order to be creative, we have to get past a distraction phase. He talks about, I'm going to not do it justice at all, but he talks about two modes of the brain. He talks about the open mode, which is the creative, the childlike, the fun, free-spirited mode. And he talks about the closed mode, which is the get shit done mode. It's just your day-to-day, I have tasks to do, let's do this. I relate to this because I'm sitting around the house and I get distracted so often. I think, oh, I should do laundry right now. And then an hour later, I'm caulking my bathtub. I don't know how that happens. So John speaks to this. I'm going to read this for you because the screens are a bit small. Sorry, I didn't mean that. So you've arranged to take no calls. You've closed your door. You've sat down somewhere comfortable. Take a couple of deep breaths, and if you're anything like me, after you've pondered some problem that you want to turn into an opportunity for about 90 seconds, you find yourself thinking, oh, I forgot to call Jim. Oh, and I must tell Tina that I need the report on Wednesday, not Thursday, which means I must move my lunch with Joe. And damn, I haven't called St. Paul's about getting Joe's daughter an interview, and I must pop out this afternoon to get Will's birthday present, and those plants need watering, and none of my pencils are sharpened, and right, I've got too much to do, so I must start by sorting out my paper clips, and then I'll make 27 phone calls, and I'll start thinking tomorrow when I've got everything out of the way. Right? Wrong. In order to let our minds truly run wild, first we must get past the initial distraction phase. I jump into everything I do head first. This is represented to a recent trip to New York when I wanted to see the Statue of Liberty, so I made sure I brought my crown, my selfie stick, and my I Heart New York shirt. On a similar note, I took the same idea to when I recently went to a sensory deprivation tank for the first time. Has anybody been to one of these? We got one? Okay, I'll fill in, oh, I got a couple. I'll fill in the rest of you. So it basically looks like a stasis pod from the movie Alien. It's filled with water and roughly 50 million pounds of salt, give or take. Don't quote me on that. The idea, it's not actually that much. The water is heated to the temperature of body. There's no sound or light. And the idea is by minimizing distractions, you can just open up your mind and clear your thoughts. It's also supposed to improve concentration and focus going forward if you keep on this. With this idea, I thought I need to go all in. I watched a Vice documentary. I read up everything I could online. I think I was ready. I booked my appointment. I go into the place. I wait for my turn. Get shown to my room. Thank you very much. I look at the tank. I look around the room. Strip down naked. Walk over. Go to the bathroom. I didn't want anything to distract me. Nothing at all. I go over to the tank. I open up the door. I go back to the bathroom again. Okay, I'm ready. I slide in. I close the door. Nothingness. I'm sitting in the darkness, listening to myself breathe, and thinking, why am I still thinking about things? Why isn't my mind clear? Why am I asking myself, why isn't my mind clear? I'm spiraling now. How do I fix this? Like, how do I actually enjoy this? I'm failing at doing nothing! I had 90 minutes booked in this thing. I didn't have a watch. I'm guessing it was around 45 minutes, and I lost track of time. Every thought that I had went in one side, jumped around, left out the other side, and my mind became clear. It was excellent. I haven't been back. Not our choice, just hasn't happened yet. But I did take this idea, or this feeling, as inspiration, both in my creative life and in my day-to-day life through many different things. In order to let our minds truly run wild, first we have to get past the initial distraction phase. Just remember, distractions happen. The sooner we embrace the chaos as a part of life, the sooner we can get past them. Out on the open mode! Work past the thoughts of everyday life to reach that utopia where your mind can really play. Reach that open mode. Third step, third act. Start small and just do something. The company I work for, Unbounce, one of the co-founders is named Ollie Gardner. We started about 7 years ago, and he started our entire content marketing department up from scratch. He had blogged personally a bit before, but for Unbounce, he just started writing, and he made it happen. Now, our content marketing is seen as a forefront in our specific industry, and also Ollie travels around the world as a top-rated speaker at marketing conferences. So Ollie, he says, I love this quote, by the way. He said it in a podcast, and it was totally off the cuff, and he rambles, and oh, it's so good. Everybody thinks they can't write. Well, if that's the case, it's not true, because you write every day. What I like to do, it's kind of taken from the artist way, is basically do this for a month. Every day when you get up, write 300 words about anything before you do anything else. Just gets you in a rhythm, and then you can start figuring out, and you never know where you're going to go, and sometimes it'll turn into something related to your business, but often you just ramble, but you'll get better at it. Cool. So now we have a ramble. What skill comes naturally? We can improve that ramble. And while you're improving, don't be precious with your ideas. If you don't get a thought completed, or if you don't make progress in something, you can't iterate on it. Claude Monet, he painted 250 pieces in his Water Lilies series. He would paint sometimes the exact same scene over and over from different angles or from at different parts of the day, just to see the way the light affected it. He took an idea and he iterated upon it over and over. Start small. You don't have to have an end goal in mind. If you have an inclination to create something, just go with it. Opportunities will present themselves when you're motivated. One quick last story. In 1994, a group of Vancouver musicians started a local music festival called Music Waste. Music Waste started to give an audience to a style of music, be it across genres, a style of music that was a bit more alternative, something that maybe wouldn't get radio play, you know? Be it punk, electronic, what have you. 22 years later, this festival is still going strong. It's iterated many times throughout the years. The logos are my favorite thing. And I worked for this festival. I was the director for 6 years. Through skills and experiences that I learned with Music Waste, which is a completely non-profit position, just totally volunteer, it was a labor of love, it was tons of work. I gained skills and experiences that helped me get my current job as events coordinator for Unbounce. I feel pretty good about it. It took a little while. I was putting on events for about 15 years before I actually reached that. You never know where an idea will take you. There's only one way to find out, and that's to actually do something. It might just take a little longer than you expected. That's okay. Don't get discouraged. There will almost certainly be roadblocks and detours along the way. But you just keep going because you love it. Make shit happen. The more we create, the more inspiration we bring to ourselves and maybe more importantly, others. That's why we're all here. We want to inspire each other. First step. Find your process. Are you an idea person or are you an improve an idea person? Listen to John Cleese. Minimize distractions. Get them all out of your system. Might take 10 minutes, might take 5 days, who knows. Get out of your system. Get to that open mode where your mind can play. Just frickin' do something. You have a project in mind. It may look like a maze. There might be a ton of distractions in the way. There might be a lot of stuff to get through. Just find the entrance to that maze and get to work. The only enemy is your best friend. Thank you so much. Thank you, Intermitten, for letting me speak.